Welcome back to the 903 podcast. This week, I sat down with Jason and Liz Hartong, who own and operate several adventurous properties on Airbnb. I talked with them about rebuilding after life threw challenges at them, turning their childhood memories into a retirement plan, and bringing families together for memorable adventures. Here's what's happening in the 903.
Welcome back to the 903 podcast. I'm Andrew Darrington, your host. Today we're here in Tyler, Texas at the Young Professional Building. Got that right this time. Thank you so much to our sponsors for allowing us to create this content, kind of help entrepreneurs, nonprofits get the word out about their business. And we really appreciate your financial contributions. That really helps us a lot with equipment and for guys like Waylon that do a fantastic job on our audio and video. Without further ado, we've got the Hartongs here today. You guys own Airbnbs, and we're going to talk a lot about, kind of some of the goods and bads and interesting type things. But are y'all from here? Or where did y'all meet?
I'm originally from Chicago.
Yeah.
I came down here about 15 years ago for a job. The job didn't work out, but I loved East Texas and decided to stay. So you can tell your story.
I was born here in Tyler.
Okay.
Trained Mother Francis. But so yeah, I'm an original.
Right. Okay.
My whole life.
Yeah.
And we met about 9 years ago now, and got married about 5 years ago.
Has it been 5 years?
5
Yeah.
years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was it about that the investing into an Airbnb or like a rental? What were some of the things that you guys weighed out in that process, or did you buy land first, and how did it work?
Well, I started out doing some odd jobs, handyman jobs in the area, honestly with the plans to maybe go back to Chicago. But my phone kept ringing, and I kept doing handyman jobs, and I ended up, through my handyman business, working for a lot of landlords and a bunch of investors. And after a couple of years, I just was seeing that people were investing in places, fixing them up, and either renting them long-term, short-term, or doing the Airbnb thing. And so, some friends and neighbors kind of got the idea. And then you want to tell your story how you got introduced to Airbnb?
Well, in a previous lifetime, before he and I were together, we did we bought flipped houses. So being in that wasn't intimidating to me. But actually, was a neighbor next door decided to Airbnb out their house while they went and just traveled for the summer, and said, "Hey, would you manage?" I never heard of it. I was like, "Airbnb, what's that?" She's like, "Would you manage and clean while we're gone?" So I did, and so the idea was already it grew over time, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So, but I think probably what launched us into it was honestly losing everything. We both went through divorces financially, so it was like, what can we do to start all over? We were as broke as most college kids at 40.
Wow.
Yeah, like we
sure,
had nothing.
for sure.
So what can we do to get finances back on track? We got not as much time to do this, and so you already had a construction business that builds. I had some experience with flipping houses and Airbnb and cleaning, so it was like,
Yeah,
go.
really the thing I think that first sparked it is a piece of land came up for sale down the street from us. And I called the owner, and he said, "Sorry, somebody's already made an offer." I said, "Okay, well, keep my name and number, and if for some reason that doesn't work out, let me know." And lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, I got a call, and he said, "Hey, that guy's financing fell through. Would you still be interested in this 8-acre piece of property?" And I said, "Yeah, I really, really would." And so I honestly reached out to my dad and asked him for some help to get the down payment and get that ball up and running. So he was one of my first investors. But my first thought was to subdivide it. It was 8 acres and put 8 houses.
Sure.
Kind of get out of the handymanning can be really running and gunning. You're doing a lot of small projects and having the opportunity to do some bigger projects. I had built a couple houses, so my thought was, let's subdivide that, put 8 houses on it, and just kind of for the next couple years build 1 or 2 houses, build them, do a lot of the work myself, me and my small crew, and then turn around and sell them. And that's when once it looked good to buy the land, I had just enough time to start considering different ideas. And it was like, if we're going to build these houses, I talked to, I think, girlfriend at the time, right? We were steady. We weren't married, but we were dating pretty steadily. And I was like, I'm thinking about, instead of building houses, maybe building rental properties. Build the house and try to hang on to it financially, and then get a renter in there and see if I can't get into the rental market and try to build some retirement
Residual income.
And then it kind of evolved from there. And it's like, okay, if we're going to rent them, what about doing this Airbnb things? Because I had heard a little bit about it, and when Airbnb or short-term rentals are good, the income can be better, the debt-to-income ratio can be better, and so that was our next idea. And then the fourth iteration of that was, if we're going to build something and put it on Airbnb, why not build something just kind of crazy, really crazy, unique, so that people want to come visit us? And I had built a couple tree houses as a kid, and I built a tree house for my kids. And one of the things on my bucket list was to build an adult tree house. And that's sort of what birthed out of that. We're like, let's build. So I talked to my dad, I talked to the bank, I talked to my fiance or whatever at the time, and just everybody kind of was shaking their heads like, yeah, this seems like this could be a good idea. And so lo and behold, I got to have one of those bucket list dreams come true. I got to build a treehouse for adults. And so we got the land, we got a little money from the bank, we had a little savings ourselves, and lo and behold, boom, we started building. And so that's kind of how it all started, right?
Yeah. We did the math, and then renting night to night versus month to month was going to make more if we were predicting it accurately, and the wear and tear is less.
Yeah.
Because you have people coming and going instead of it, staying there all the time. People just tend to take better care of it. So
Sure.
It's crazy to say this, but one of the things that really helped was COVID. COVID shut down all the cruise lines, it shut down all the hotels, it shut down all of the amusement parks, but people were still hungry to go and do something with their family. So most young baby businesses, they tell you don't even think about drawing, any profit for years. But with COVID, boy, we hit the ground running, and it was awesome. We had an amazing first year as a young baby business. The word got out, and it's just continued to grow and grow and grow. And so, yeah, COVID was a massive help for our little Airbnb.
Right.
Yeah.
So most people that are starting over don't think about investing, right? It's kind of an oxymoron. You would think that, like, hey, I just need to get like 6 jobs and try to save up a nest egg that way.
I think that what happens is when you get to be old, you start daydreaming about retirement.
For sure.
That's really what happened. I was telling my wife, I'm getting old, I'm getting tired, I got to start putting something aside for retirement. So that's really been our goal. We've never positioned the tree houses, we've never needed to make money on them, but the goal is to, in 10, 15 years, have them paid off.
Right.
So I might be able to retire by the time I'm 70. So.
Well, let's go through the properties. We've already mentioned that they're tree houses. Let's talk about the first one that I had is the Upward tree house. It's the largest of the three.
Yes, sir.
And there's one of them. You have 3 properties on the 8 acres. One's not a tree house.
Right.
The other 2 are, right?
Yes.
So Upward is got 5 levels.
Yeah, it's 5 stories, and that's
crazy.
It really was.
Is it built into one tree? I haven't been out there personally.
Yeah, when we first started building it, we had more conservative plans, but when we started building, one of the things that happened is the metal shop, the I-beams you buy, their full length is 40 foot. So we were going to do something 16 by 16-ish, but those 40-foot beams just looked so beautiful when we got them on site. And so long story short, I just said, why are we cutting these? Let's keep it 40 foot long. And so we put the main beam right through the center of the tree, 40 foot long, and then had a 20 foot and a 20 foot on the other side. So, and then once we got up in the trees and started building the platform, I had a friend that was helping me. He's like, you got to go higher. He has a funny saying he always says, I'll give a shout out. He's, if you're going to build a parking lot, build it bigger. And so that was kind of the motivation that just kind of kept bouncing around our heads as we were doing this. So we went farther out, we went farther up, and we just kept building. And we went way over our time schedule. We went way over budget. I drove my wife kind of crazy because every month it'd be like, yeah, I need a little more money, I need a little more time, and she just sort of like, oh, brother.
Yeah.
So, but it just kept going, and so, yeah, when it when it was all said and done, it was 5 stories tall. It has 3 bedrooms, 3 toilets, 4 showers, a full kitchen. It has 3 different decks. It has a lookout tower. There's stairs, and then a spiral staircase, and then a ladder, or 2 ladders.
It's like Donkey Kong.
It really is. Yeah. It just keeps going.
Right.
So it was.
He sleeps 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's crazy. And of course, you got to be okay climbing stairs,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But they're traditional staircases with handrails. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Probably get a good view. What's the best view? Is it towards like, because we're in Garden Valley, Texas. So your view to maybe Grand Saline or Lindale or Canton?
Depends on the time of the year and how many leaves are on the trees.
Yeah.
That can affect it. But,
Yep.
but yeah, the tower is the highest point,
Yep.
and it's glass all the way around.
Oh, sweet.
So you can look whatever direction you want.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see
Yeah.
Mineola. You can see Tyler. I mean, you're way up there. You're literally at the tops of the trees. You can just barely kind of make. Over the
Yeah.
years, it's grown. So you used
Yeah.
to be able to see all the way.
Yeah.
The trees kind of catching up, but
Right.
yeah.
We've had lots of families rent it during, I don't know what they call it, but when there's special things that happen, like the moon has an eclipse. Or
Yeah.
there's gonna be a
Shooting stars.
Yeah, they'll rent the treehouse months, and they follow that stuff.
Yeah.
And they
There's-
know what night's gonna
yeah.
be the best view in that area, and they've rented the treehouse just for that.
Huh.
Yeah.
There was an bunch of asteroids that
Yeah.
came through. There
Yeah.
was different phases of the moon. Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun. We've hosted all kinds of get-togethers. That's what's been fun. We've done birthday parties, bachelorette parties, honeymoons, newlyweds, Bible studies, hunting trips, fishing trips. We've had all kinds of guests come and stay.
Right.
East Texas really is an awesome place to do a lot of things. There's great nature, there's great fishing, there's great restaurants. We feel kind of spoiled. Our place is just outside of Tyler, so it's off the beaten path, so tons of privacy, beautiful East Texas forest, but you're close enough to everything. So
Yeah,
there's
right
great
on
restaurants.
close to I-20.
Yep.
And hop, skip, and a jump from Dallas,
Yep.
hop, skip, and a jump from Shreveport, Texarkana.
Yeah, between Shreveport and Dallas. So,
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And obviously Tyler, Mineola, Lindale, all
Yep.
these small little towns that just have.
And a hop, skip, and a jump from Waco, too.
Yeah,
So
yep.
anybody listening out there, I mean, it's not that far to drive
Not
and
at
to
all.
get out in the
Oh,
country.
We get people all the way from Austin and Houston
Yeah.
regularly. So
Yeah.
I mean, people find us, and we're very thankful and proud. It's got great reviews, and people have really just had a great time out there. And so the reviews match that. We just are so. I don't know. It's really cool to be part of people's stories.
Sure.
We regularly hear people just talk about what an amazing time they had. One cool story, we got a grandma rented our treehouse for her husband, Grandpa. They together had 2 grown sons that were newly married and both had their first grandchild, and they surprised Grandpa. So Grandpa showed up at this treehouse, and his 2 sons, his 2 daughter-in-laws, and his 2 brand new grandbabies were there. And so
Yeah.
he got to spend the weekend with his kids and his grandkids, and they sent us a picture of Grandpa sitting in the hammock with a 9-month-old grandchild under either arm, just smiling ear to ear. And you know, those are just moments and that are just so special to be a part of. And I get a little teared up honestly,
Yeah.
thinking about it, just because
I would too, man. I would too.
It's just cool. We created a place that we love to go.
Yeah.
Our kids love to be there. My kids helped build it. Her kids helped build it.
Sure.
And everybody pitched in and helped out on some level.
It's a legacy, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
cool.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Neither one of us missed the irony that we lost our original families going through divorce, and creating some place for people to come and do like almost opposite spirit that. Like,
Yeah.
no, we're going to bring people together,
Right.
instead of apart. So one of our favorite traditions, we keep guest books at all the
Sure.
ones, but upward as well. And New Year's Eve, we pull them for that year to when we order the new ones to come in for the next year. And then we sit down and we read what people's stories were while they were there.
Yeah.
And like literally, we do not make it through without
Yeah,
crying.
sure.
Every time.
Yeah. I can imagine that.
I mean, we've had people that were struggling with cancer, going through cancer, having a cancer journey, and literally at the end of their life and wanting to just make some memories with their family. We've hosted people for funerals who had just recently lost a loved
Sure.
one. We've hosted brand new couples that were, on their first honeymoon together.
Right.
And, grandparents, and it's just been so special to create a place that was special to us. We, I mean, to be real honest, I was fortunate. My mom and dad took me on a bunch of cool little vacations. That was the thing my mom and dad loved to do, and so I got to go to a lot of cool places. As a kid, got to go to Disneyland, Disney World, and there's just something about, special about creating this environment that people want to be in, they want to be together, and it facilitates and encourages people just to connect with each other. And so it's not just about this treehouse, it's about people coming together and enjoying people that they love. And it's been such a cool experience. But
and it's a lot different than a hotel too.
Absolutely.
Where the hotel is like check in, check out, you're using a key card,
Right.
you're drinking the crummy coffee, everything's like very rigid in a hotel room for good reason. It makes it, quicker to turn beds, where what you have is like a home away from home.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's
It
what we
really
hope
is.
for sure.
That was the heart of that
And Moon
place.
Honey, and that's the other treehouse. We'll get to that one. But same thing with, like, just 2 weeks ago, we had a couple reach out to us and say that they weren't doing okay. They weren't all right.
Yeah.
And they went and took a couple of nights there, and at the end of the weekend, they kind of renewed their vows. They promised each other
Yeah.
to work on things. And man, that's like, yes, to keep somebody else from having to go through divorce. That's awesome. But yeah, it's might want to lead into the Moon Honey.
Yeah, so that's a conundrum. You switch the names over
Yes.
for Moon Hill, right? Or no, Moon Honey.
Yeah.
Honeymoon.
Yeah. So like, why switch the?
Well, the actual story I just found out a few months ago. Back in the day, Mr. Moon owned all of that land, and so the street out there got his namesake, and everybody in that community knows this hill as the Moon Hill.
Okay.
The Moon family, it was their hill, it was their street,
Yeah.
it was their road, and so we lived just off of that. And so that moon has always been kind of a special word, and we built upward and saw families just absolutely having a blast. But we both were like, we saw the need for couples, something to create
Yeah,
something
like
a little
adults
smaller.
only.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little less expensive, smaller, not as big. And so that's when we started putting together the idea for a honeymoon suite. And honeymoon, when it comes to SEO and websites, is a very crowded word.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, what about Moon Honey? And it just kind of had that sort of magical being in the forest kind of thing. And
it tied in with Moon Hill Road and what we used to call ourselves the Moon Hill Gang. So it kind of was, a little bit of marketing and a little bit of just personal preference. I guess was the decision on that one.
So Moon Honey was the place with the same heartbeat, we wanted to create a place where couples could reconnect. As we mentioned, we both had gone through divorces, and that's a heartbreaking thing to go through.
Sure.
And so we wanted to do something to help couples reconnect, stay connected. And so we started daydreaming about what we could build. And Treehouse was a no-brainer, but we've created a treehouse that has basically all kinds of little places to have a moment with each other. Everything from the morning coffee bar to the evening wine and cheese bar, a place to cook outside, a place to bird watch, a place to watch television or a movie, a little kitchen to cook together, an outdoor hibachi, a fire pit out back to spend time, and just trying to create all these little spaces where a couple could just be together.
They're both tree houses. They have that in common, but decoratively they're really different. Upward is like kid safe and tough and rough, and there's quilts on the beds, and it's just real homey and family friendly. And when you get over to Moon Honey, it's all white and gold and glass and spiral circle. No children. We do not want to be responsible, for that. That there's a catwalk all the way around it with just air cable,
Right.
but you get uninterrupted view, of all the way around. So it's beautiful, but it's a little bougie.
Right. Yeah, I like it.
With Moon Honey Treehouse, it has those classic treehouse elements, but you feel a little bit like you're in a castle, and that was kind of the idea. There's a giant spiral staircase that goes up to the top, 44 steps, and there's archways, and my wife did a great job glamming the place out. It's all glitzy and glammy, and there's golden fixtures, and it's classy. It's really fun. You feel special when you're in there, but it didn't lose the playfulness of a treehouse. So it was it was kind of one of those kind of crazy things where when she was first telling me what she wanted to do, I was kind of like, "Are you sure in a treehouse?" But it turned out awesome, and we did so many compliments on it. So I feel like we had the perfect recipe of rustic, playful treehouse and elegance and glamour of a newlywed suite. So it's a neat place. We get so many great feedback. People have their anniversaries up there. We host a lot of couples for their pre-honeymoon night. So after their wedding, they'll come and spend a couple days
before
with
flying
us
out or
before
whatever.
they fly out. Exactly. And so they have a fun, unique place to hang out together.
Our son and daughter-in-law did that. They
Yeah.
just got married this spring and
Oh,
stayed there.
okay.
Yeah, shout out to some of the kids.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And then you have Moon Hill, which is a one-story cabin.
Yep. Moon Hill was actually my house, and when I got married, I got to move in with my wife, so we decided, what are we going to do with this cabin? It's a 1920s Sears Roebuck, one of those kit houses.
Kit houses, yeah.
From the 1920s. It's an adorable little cabin, and we decided to go ahead and put that on Airbnb. And was it you?
So what we ended up having to do, it got a leak in the ceiling, so we had to do something with it either way.
Yes.
We had to repair it, and so we were doing that, and we lost the floors in the bathroom when that happened. And I was so sad because the rest of the house still has the old 100-year-old original floors in it, and that was just seeing like, well, why don't we just go ahead and do this theme? Let's take it backwards to go with that floor. Let's decorate it like it is the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Like you're here. You're in this cabin shortly after it was put together, after it came off the train from Sears and Roebuck, you know. And then it was you who came up with the idea of, hey, wait a second. We both love It's a Wonderful Life, the movie. Have you seen it before?
Sure.
Classic.
Yeah.
Well, in the very beginning of the movie, they saved up their money to travel the world, but they have to spend it to save their business. I mean, we can't relate to that at all. Anyway, but then, so he said, let's come up with the idea that they had all the 4 kids, they raised them, sent them off, launched them, and now they finally get to travel the world. So they downsize this little cabin and take off, and this is their come home and land when they're not traveling. So we decorated it with all furnished stuff that looks like it's from the 40s. I went to an antique shop and got 2 suitcases and ordered little things and put it on there that, you know, say George Bailey and Mary Bailey on there. And we've got little shout outs to the movie throughout it. It looks like they came home and brought stuff back and put it on the shelf and then took off to the next trip. And so if you're It's a Wonderful Life fan, it's a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
And we put a lot of our own childhood stuff in there too. We use the cabin to store our stuff.
Right.
We don't know what to do with it.
You're telling on yourself. You're telling.
I think we gave it a home. We gave it a home. We both
cool things we put there.
Yeah, we both had some unique, you know, special memories ourselves. But it's so.
Yeah. The pie cabinet was the first gift that his mom gave to his dad when they got married. So
a couple antique pieces that are meaningful to us that we put in there. Yeah. Yeah, it's a neat place. If you love that movie, It's a Wonderful Life, you get to feel like you're walking into George Bailey and Mary Bailey's retirement home. And you get to see all the adventures they finally got to have through posters and artifacts. And it's a great place. It has a beautiful screened-in porch, hot tub out back, fire pit, full kitchen.
Little disclaimer, when you walk through the back door, it is no longer 1940s. It is a screened-in porch with an outdoor TV and a jacuzzi and a place and a bonfire. Yeah, it's not 1940s.
Okay.
That place is a little more modern, but people love hanging out there. A great place to cook, to hang out.
Yeah.
And now, a word from our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Red Construction and Development, LLC. If you are looking to build or remodel and need the highest quality, best reputation, and 3D rendering, look no further than Red Construction. Call Thomas and his team at 903-630-8660 today. This episode is sponsored by Hoot and Holler Beverage. When I think of Hoot and Holler, their selection and customer service first comes to mind. So skip the big box franchises and make the trip to Hoot and Holler in Gun Barrel City. Between barrel picks, mixers, seltzers, whatever you need for the weekend, they'll help you find it. Stop by today. Scott and team are ready. This episode is sponsored by the Humidor. If you are looking for cigars and want to enjoy a few hours in a great environment with a great staff, the Humidor should be your next stop. With their vast selection and new bar, you'll have a great time every time. This episode is sponsored by Vault Arms, the premier destination for all things firearm related. So if you're in the market for handguns, rifles, or supplies, stop by Vault Arms at 4740 South Broadway or their indoor range at 417 West Elm in Tyler. Now back to the 903 podcast.
So how does Airbnb work? Like if I'm thinking about, the investment side of things, well, let's talk about that first and then we'll get to the Airbnb.
Sure.
I'm thinking about buying a property to rehabilitate and to, make ready for these short-term rental opportunities. What were some of the things if you were to, be an armchair quarterback and say, I would do this differently, or what are some things that I need to consider before that? I need to be a handyman, probably.
Well, I was going to say,
that helps.
The two ingredients that I think made it really successful for Liz and I is, number one, I am a handyman. So I was able to take a property and create it from the ground up and or remodel it, and I was able to keep those costs down.
Yeah.
If you have to hire a handyman, a plumber, all the different trades to remodel something, to build something, your ticket, your price, and thus your mortgage, and thus your monthly payments can get pretty high pretty quick. And basically I worked almost for free for myself for 6 months to a year on each of these, and just bare bones. And so we were able to build really, really amazing places for really low costs. And so that's a great place to start. I've seen a lot of people, create Airbnbs, but their overhead's so high by the time they try to pay their mortgage and pay the monthly bills, there's not. The second thing about that is, Airbnbs can be profitable, but you have to be in it for the long haul. And we've seen a lot of Airbnbs kind of come and go. We've had family and friends do it, and they get a couple slow months, and suddenly they're upside down, and they can't pay the mortgage, and they can't pay the utility bills. And so you have to, I would say, build them for inexpensive as possible. And then the second part, I'm going to give a huge shout out to my lovely wife, is she has the gift of hospitality, and she loves cleaning the space. I wouldn't say love, but she loves creating that space so it's a welcome environment for our guests. We regularly get great reviews on our cleanliness and just that homey, welcome feel. You have to have somebody that really has a heart for that.
Yeah.
Anybody can run a vacuum and wipe off a countertop, but my wife really has the gift of hospitality, and she really just makes sure things are spotless and clean and welcoming. And in both of those adventures, I had a great team of guys that helped me build these places, and they put their hearts into it. So shout out to them, and I'm thankful to them. And then my wife has had a team of people throughout the years that have they've been awesome. They really put a lot of their heart into it and make these places welcome.
I think on the managing cleaning side of that, yes, it's important to make money off of them, at least break even. You can't go in the hole on these things, it's not worth it. But it's also equally important to create a space people enjoy, because if they don't enjoy it, if you let the money get a little too low in the account, and you went over budget and you couldn't afford to replace the sheets once they got stained, your guest shows up and sees that and they go, ooh, I don't know if I want to stay here, and then you get a bad rating, and then you lose your super host. And so you've got to balance it. You got to keep that extra there so that your customer service stays high, I think, because if it doesn't stay high, it's going to eventually reflect on your ratings, and then people, when they go to rent, they're going to rent from somebody else, not you, because your rating was lower.
Yeah.
So it's balancing.
Is there a sweet spot as far as, and we'll just toss out a hypothetical, that if I'm investing, I should target having that rental be rented half the month, or I guess it really just boils down to your budget, right? But if I'm just looking at a project in general, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to toss some numbers together. When you said slow time, I'm assuming that's maybe 4 or 5 rentals a month, maybe, or what? What does it mean?
So one of the things we did when we were deciding, and we do this every time we decide to build another one, was when we were deciding on Moon Hill Cabin, we went on Airbnb and we pretended like Moon Hill Cabin existed already, and we put the criteria of what would be in it for this area, the zip code, and we looked to see how much are they asking on Airbnb already for something that's comparable.
Right.
I'm a real estate it's a comp.
Yes.
You're comping it out,
Sure.
basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you're looking at, okay, how much does it cost to remodel this cabin, finish this cabin, launch this cabin? What's our mortgage payment like? And we literally comped it out ahead of time. We pre-spent it as best you can. You're guessing in some
Sure.
spaces, but we pre-spent and did that work? Oh, I think those numbers do work, or maybe they don't work. And
Right.
then you make adjustments, and you're like, okay, we're not going to spend as much money to build this, or we need to maybe put it in a different area that rents higher and better and more. And so, yeah, we've done that, I think, with all of them. You can go in there and pretend like you're renting on Airbnb and see what's in your area and what it goes for.
Sure.
How much they get for each night.
But also I guess the occupancy too is a factor.
Excellent.
So if you have
Yep.
a place that's desirable, then you're going to get 75%
Yep.
occupancy or whatever. Is there a sweet spot there? I mean, all projects are different. I get that.
It's one of the one I'll let you answer it. But weirdest thing, when we put in criteria for Moon Hill Cabin, we found it was going to make probably 30% more a night if we just put a king size bed.
Yeah.
Things like that it's just like, gosh, how do we just research.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
One of the things that's happened over the last 5 years that we've been doing it, going on 6, is, like I mentioned, when COVID was happening, Airbnb was taking off, and there weren't enough Airbnbs. In the last 5 years, I'm no expert, but from what I've been reading, what I see is the Airbnb world, the short-term rental world, kind of became saturated, and there was too many people that got into it. And then what starts happening is the customers start being more selective. They've got 3 or 4 different options. They pick the one that's more unique, more creative, closer to their event. And that was one of the things that we were fortunate with. We had decided to go all in on the crazy treehouse. So we've stayed in the unique, special, whereas some of our counterparts that just had a regular house.
Yeah, 3-bedroom house, 3-bedroom,
They
2
had a
bath
beautiful
house.
3-bedroom house, but at the end of the day, that's all it was a 3-bedroom house, and it didn't have the experience. So we've stayed booked while some of our friends and counterparts have honestly sold out and just gone into traditional renting or sold them month-to-month rentals.
Is a 50% occupancy a successful month?
We usually, to be real honest, we're booked out almost every weekend.
Okay.
And that pays our bills.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, so if we keep the weekends booked, which, that's about 30%, I would guess, quick math there.
I think 30 to 40% pays the overhead.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
then after that, that goes in your pocket.
Okay, gotcha.
I often joke.
Again, it depends on the project.
Sure. But in general numbers here in East Texas, I often joke that if we get the weekends booked, we pay the bills. If we get a during the week book, we get to buy peanut butter or steak. It's kind of like
beans and rice, right?
Beans and rice versus maybe if we get a couple extra bookings, we might get to buy a steak once in a while.
We're baby businesses. We still owe on everything. I
Sure.
think once it all gets paid off, then
it's
obviously
different.
those numbers will
That's really the plan, is to have it all paid off in 15 years when I'm ready to retire, and then we can decide if we want to keep making beds or if we want to sell it to the next young couple that is ready to take on the adventure. And then we can retire and
even if you break even,
beans and rice at our retirement home.
there's lots of people who buy properties, to pay them off and then sell them, because property typically goes up in value over time.
Sure.
So even if we break even, we just had a bunch of people pay for these properties for us.
Sure.
That makes sense?
Yeah,
We
100%.
We've never made a mortgage payment on them,
Yeah, exactly.
and we don't plan on it.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how does Airbnb work? Let's go back to there. So was it hard to get, connected on it, or?
Airbnb is very welcoming, and they regularly send us emails and notes encouraging us to invite other people to be hosts. So becoming a host is easy. You take pictures of your space, you put them on there, you figure out the calendar. It takes a little bit of work, but they've actually built a great website. It's really user friendly. We love the Airbnb experience. It's been great for us. But just because you put it on there, it doesn't mean that people are going to click on it and rent. And a couple of the things that have been a little bit challenging is the photographing. I have a background in film and video production, so I have a little bit of an artistic eye, but it's amazing how much even AI and filters and how much they do to photos to really just stand out. You can imagine, you go on Airbnb and there's 100 properties within that area.
Right.
And having great photos, having well-written copy describing your place. that can make a big difference. My wife, you want to talk about just the pricing and playing with that?
Well, yeah, we discovered that if we go ahead and put it at full price, but then put discounts on it, so if you rent it 28 days or less, then you're going to get like 30% off of that full price. If it's 2 weeks or less, then we're going to give you 40. Like there's a walk up as you walk down.
Right.
So, but the closer you get to your date, check it because the prices are going to be the lowest. But that's good because we don't have anybody staying there.
Correct.
Somebody stay there and enjoy the space, and we make a little something off of it that weekend and nothing at all.
Right.
So, and then we keep it discounted in reverse too. If you book far enough out, there'll also be a discount there for you.
Sure.
So we found that if a family-oriented properties, they tend to book weekends, but not so much during the week, which makes sense. It's hard to get kids out the door, school, all the things that, The couples one is the one that will book all the time, anytime, and same day. Like couples.
Last minute.
They don't have those kids to worry about,
Yeah.
and they are sporadic and race set.
Or they're getting like a night off or 2
Yes.
nights off, and they're like, we're leaving now.
We're out.
Like,
Exactly.
grandparents just got here, we're gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And don't call me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something to factor in is like who's your crowd, who are you, and then you'll know. But Moon Hill's been kind of down the middle. We've had both. We've had families, we've had couples. It's kind of a both.
Moon Hill Cabin.
Moon
yeah,
Hill,
yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, Moon Hill Cabin. Yeah.
I mix the names up sometimes.
Yeah.
Dude,
No problem.
so many moons.
Too many names.
It's been a great adventure. It's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. And both of us are busybodies. We like to stay busy. So it's been a good fit for us. I don't think it's a good fit for everybody. But Airbnb, like I said, does a great job with the website. It's pretty user-friendly. My only complaint about Airbnb is they change stuff a lot. I think there's a lot of young developers working at Airbnb, and they're always reinventing the website and things.
Well, they got to justify their job, right?
Exactly. So a lot of times you'll go on there and there'll be something clicked, a checkbox click that wasn't clicked before, and it can affect your bookings or your pricing. And
do they keep stats for you guys on the other side?
Yeah,
okay.
on the back side they show
so
us.
where they, take a look at, days of occupancy or,
Yep.
and then funding wise, is it just through like ACH or?
Yeah, they do a direct deposit.
Direct deposit, yeah.
Everything's direct deposit.
Direct deposit, okay.
Yeah.
I think we get paid after check-in. Is that how that works? Is that when they do it?
Yes.
So once the
everything's
guest
shown up.
arrives, checks in,
Yep.
the next day, I think they
And
send
are
us a
you the
check.
type of host that gives them a code to get in the door or
we
typically or?
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't interact with the guests unless they prefer it.
Yeah,
If
for
they
sure.
reach out.
And they just send you messages
But
on
yes.
Airbnb.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Everything, we're able to communicate almost 100% through the Airbnb app. We give our guests privacy. We let them know we're available if they need us. But the place sort of speaks for itself, and they get up there, and once they walk through the place, they kind of know what to do, and they cook out
Sure.
and have a good time, and we're there for the occasional thing. I mean, happened the other day. One of the keypads, the batteries had gone out on it.
Yeah.
We had checked it the day before. It was good to go. Our guests showed up and the batteries were dead. So we embarrassed ourselves, had to run up there and put new batteries in. But all the kitchens are fully stocked. There's linens and sheets and blankets to sit around the fire. There's sticks to roast marshmallows, coffee pots, K-cups, all the things you'd want to just enjoy.
Yeah, Airbnb doesn't help you with that. You have to do that part. The other only about Airbnb is that everybody on there that rents on Airbnb gets a portion off of that. They get paid. So they don't care if it's us or you. They're still going to get paid.
Right.
So if you want your place to stand out, that's kind of your job.
Yeah.
Like that's a separate thing from your Airbnb experience. You're going to have to market.
And that's one of the things we do. We don't solely count on Airbnb to market our place. That's why we do things like podcasts. That's why we have websites. We have posts on social media where we do all we can to get the word out about these places, to raise awareness. And you were asking earlier, but yes, we have a lot of returning guests. That's something we're really, really proud of. A lot of people have come and stayed, had a great experience, and they come back. And I don't think there's anything that is a better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, return
thumbs up.
business.
Yeah, somebody that loved the space.
Sure.
We have some couples that, Moon Honey Treehouse is their go-to place for their anniversaries. They they're starting to come every year for their anniversaries, and it's such an honor to host them and just be a little part of their story.
I will say I do enjoy Airbnb when it comes to conflicts because that does happen every once in a while. 90% of our guests are awesome.
I'd say 95.
95%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got those.
Yeah.
And when you get crossways with them, you just pull back and you let Airbnb play. They're your middleman.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
they communicate with the guests that have the complaint and then come back to the host and talk to them and what's your side of the story, and then they go, and then there's a back and forth, and then they ask, sometimes they'll need evidence of something or, for something from you to prove what you're saying actually happened, but they handle it all. So you don't have to get in this rah, rah, rah with another person. Right. It's all very calmly handled.
Yeah.
I like that part.
And it's usually little things like they'll break some dishes or something, or they'll just little damage will happen because accidents happen, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And and so typically people are great. We've had great guests. Every so often, I think we host somebody that is just having a rough day.
Yeah.
And even staying in a
or maybe that's their personality.
Well,
they're just constantly in a rough day.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but when somebody goes up to a magical treehouse and finds a whole bunch of things to complain about, you're just like, okay, I think this isn't about the treehouse. This is about this person is in a rough season, and
it's the negativity they brought with them.
So
that's a huge plus, really. I mean, that's why I used Airbnb, is because it's really easy to communicate with the owners, and so you're like sending messages and. And typically you get the key code, a day before or something like that. So you're already ready to go. And then if something pops up or you can't find something, typically they're pretty responsive, especially superhosts are pretty responsive. And then, like you said, we rented from Airbnb in Hot Springs, and it just so happened to face the river out there, or lake. And then they shot fireworks that night, which was awesome.
Yeah.
We had a huge vantage point. So, that obviously, if we were going back down there, we'd do the same place.
That's awesome.
That's creating those experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't stay in hotels anymore.
Yeah,
right.
We love. Yeah, I was just going to say we love staying in Airbnbs ourselves and
switch to traveling.
Right.
To traveling.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I say with humility, but with a lot of pride too. And we've worked hard. But when you walk into our spaces, I think people can right away tell this place is crafted. This place has been created for you to have a good time. We welcome you. We're excited for you to be here. We just celebrated our 500th 5-star review.
Hey, congrats,
so we're
man.
pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
In 5 years, we had one place and then 2 places, now 3 places. And we just got our 500th 5-star review, and we've worked really hard to do that. And she mentioned the guest book, and we get the reviews regularly on the Airbnb app, but people come and they have a great time, and it's just really cool to be a part of their story, to help families, to help couples have a great time, to have a unique space, and it's just been an honor. It's been an awesome adventure for us.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun. Helping people have fun.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That could be our website slogan. That's great. It's fun to help
having fun, giving people some fun. Is Airbnb the easiest way to find your properties, or because websites are kind of hard sometimes?
Yeah. Honestly, the names, we were fortunate. Every one of our names is our website. So you can go to upwardtreehouse.com.
Yeah.
You can go to moonhoneytreehouse.com, and you can go to moonhillcabin.com and check out all the places. And if you just go to
those domains weren't taken, right?
Those domains weren't taken. Yeah,
Nice.
I didn't have to do Bill2347 at gmail.com or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill, whoever that might be out there, but.
Or 2021, whenever you created or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. That was one of the things we tried to do when, my background is marketing, and so we tried to create.
No, you're a jack of all trades. Marketing, videographer.
That was where I started. I started
plumbing.
in the marketing world, and the handyman business just sort of happened here in East Texas.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. So what's the typical cost? Like, I know that it may change on the weekends, or maybe change like during 4th of July or New Year's Eve or whatever.
Upward Treehouse sleeps 13 people, so we typically tell people it's about the price of a 2-room hotel room.
Okay.
So I think the base price is $250 a night plus a cleaning fee. So it's really,
Yeah.
and then the taxes and things they put on.
Sure.
Weekends it goes up.
Yeah.
Weekends
And
it's a little
holidays,
higher.
it goes up again.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
She handled my.
yeah, but those book out weeks and months in
Yeah,
advance.
if you
Sure.
can get those.
Yeah.
And then Moon Honey Tree House starts at $150 a night plus a cleaning fee. So again, it's competitive to renting
A hotel room.
a hotel room. Yeah,
But nicer, yeah.
it is. We're competitive with the hotels, but I personally think it's a much,
Much
better
You
experience.
get a full kitchen and washer dryer and
Yeah.
2 bathrooms,
Oh.
2 toilets.
My wife would be so down.
Yeah.
So down.
It's so
Like
fun.
she likes her own bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Moon Hill Cabin is the same. It starts out at $150 a night plus a cleaning fee and then the taxes and surcharges.
Yeah.
But it's very reasonable. All of them are competitive with, single or double hotel rooms, and but I think it's a much better experience. So please come and stay with us. Come
Yeah,
visit. We'll have to-
absolutely.
we'll
That's
have to have
very
you
affordable,
and
man.
Your wife out.
You are giving it away. No, I'm kidding.
We want it busy. We want it full. We like you've heard us say, it's been great to be a part of people's stories. We're trying to be a good business people and cover our expenses. But we have a heart for kids, and we wanted
Sure.
we wanted families. We both have raised families. We wanted families to be able to come out and have a good time and create an experience, but have it not be too. There's other amusement parks and things
Yeah.
that are just so expensive.
Yeah.
I won't mention any specific names, but there are some family entertainment places that you have to get a second mortgage just to.
I mean, we've got some in Tyler. I mean,
To go
you don't have to
to.
drive to Dallas to spend money,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know,
Heck, it's just eating out nowadays. It's just
Yeah.
going out to eat.
or go in the grocery store.
Yeah. Yep. We're making it, but
That's actually one of the things I think that helps. Every one of them has a full kitchen.
Yeah.
So you can go to the grocery store, get your basic fun food, and then show up, and you don't have to leave. You can, if you want to go to some of the great restaurants or coffee shops in the area, awesome. If you want to just stay in the forest and
Instacart
cook-
delivers.
yeah, and Instacart.
Really?
It does.
yeah.
Awesome.
And Uber Eats and DoorDash. So
Oh, wow.
If you want to
Yeah.
cook, you just do that.
Yep, absolutely.
Was there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to talk about? Are you about to break ground on number
Well,
4?
Do we want to do the shout outs and thank you?
I would absolutely, but I
Okay.
want to make sure that we get to.
I was telling them that we have opened one every 2 years since 2021. I told
Okay.
them, I said 2027, we're due. We're due.
Yeah, so
So
I
we'll
guess
see.
we'll put a little sneak peek out there. We have designed and brainstormed some other ideas for some unique family fun and couple getaways, and there's more coming. So I guess we'll kind of give a little sneak peek here
Whoa.
on the 903 podcast.
Yeah.
That there's more exciting places to
It's gonna
stay.
lean more in the direction of like science fiction,
Okay.
a little more creativity.
Still on the same 8 acres,
Uh-huh.
or
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe you just dig something and bunker it down.
Well,
Do like an Australian type of like bunker house. That'd be cool.
We got all kinds of fun
be
ideas.
cool.
The one she's mentioned, and I guess we'll let us little sneak peek out. Yeah, it's going to be a shout out to all of our favorite sci-fi movies.
Okay.
And so just imagine being an 8-year-old and getting to come and spend the night in a spaceship.
Okay.
So
pretty-
treehouse,
Might have crashed in
spaceship.
the trees.
Oh,
Yeah. So I
yeah.
got some fun things, and then growing up, I think we got to watch some of the great movies just growing
Sure.
up as kids, and so that's kind of some of the stuff we're kicking around is doing shout outs to some of our favorite movies and the adventures that those had.
Yeah.
And,
You can't use specific
we can't. Yeah,
names.
we don't want to mention
Yeah,
any
that's
specific,
okay. That's okay.
but we want to honor the copyrights.
That
and the
was good.
trademarks.
That's good enough. That's
Yeah,
good enough.
but say thank you to them for the creativity those great movies inspired, all the fun adventures we've gotten to take, and build some stuff that people would just get to
Nerd out on.
Nerd out, yeah, geek and nerd out, yeah.
That's a good way to
Yeah.
say it. Yeah.
You'll feel like you're on the set of one of your favorite movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm game.
So some fun stuff coming.
Yeah.
Down the pipe.
Yeah, next year, 2027.
That's the hope.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
Hope.
Fingers crossed.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Now we're to shout outs.
Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
So I always like ending the podcast with you guys kind of just showing your appreciation to anybody you want, friends, family, mentors, anybody, really.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout outs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real, thanks.
Yeah, for
that was-
sure.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
in.
man.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to the 903 podcast for sure. I guess I'll go first. First shout out would be to my mom and dad.
For sure.
My mom and dad were super hard workers. They started a business when I was just a kid in first grade. Two things that definitely impacted me greatly was, one was their work ethic. They just worked hard. Number two, they played hard. They went on vacations and celebrated when they could the successes of that business. And you know, I was kind of spoiled as a kid. You know, mom and dad worked hard, but they also, you know, went on these vacations, and I just got to go to some amazingly cool places. So my desire and, you know, to create just environments and places and spaces that are welcoming and magical and entertaining. Definitely shout out to my mom and dad. My dad being my first investor in my first treehouse was just a crazy, huge blessing to get us up and running.
Yep.
And then I wanted to give a shout out to my crew, all the guys that spent hot summers up in the trees, working hard, and they were patient with me as, you know, they teased me. You can't always draw up a blueprint for a treehouse because trees are so irregularly shaped, and so they jokingly talked about my gray prints. That this crazy idea was just in my head, and every day I'd have to kind of you know, figure that out, spend some time, you know, say my prayers and just figure this thing out. But the guys were just awesome. It was I'm so thankful for all the energy and effort they all poured their heart and passion into these projects, and worked late and hot summers, and obviously our kids all helped too. They put up with the stress and the pains of mom and dad. Oh man, there were so many. Just the timelines were brutal. The budgets were brutal,
Right.
and they all helped out in different seasons and helped out in their own way. And so,
When we built our house, I learned change order was a bad word.
oh my, yeah, for sure. Yeah, making changes. And then my last shout out is to my beautiful wife. There's not a lot of wives that would be like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's
Yeah.
let's spend every last penny we have and build a treehouse.
Right?
But she was awesome. So she was a great partner, and it's been a fun adventure. And yeah, those are my shout outs. Do you have any shout outs you want
I
to do?
just want to echo to your dad and mom, because that's, ooh, mercy. That was such a, and then the second would be to Mr. Mosley, our banker.
Yeah. We had to get some creative, creative math.
Yes, he had to lend without a proper, what's it called when you bring your
Collateral?
Don't get him in trouble. I mean,
Yeah.
he had to do some. He had to believe in the vision to help us get started.
It wasn't actually launched. It wasn't making money. We didn't have income and expenses report.
Right.
So we had to do an estimated proximate.
Yeah,
And he believed
projections.
in us. He believed in it.
Yeah.
And
cool.
he did something that most lenders would not do. So shout out to him. And then I think just to all the people that have helped us along the way cleaning it. You know, we've got some now. I don't want to say names because then I'll forget somebody.
Yeah.
All of you. That's how I want to say that.
And I would say it's more than just cleaning it. They
taking care of it.
Yeah, they have a heart for the
Yeah.
place and the
Absolutely.
hospitality. When you walk in behind them and the pillows are just right and the coffee pots, there's just
If it wasn't done, the next guest that walk in would turn around and walk back out, and we would refund their money. I mean,
Yeah.
it is that important. It is really.
We've had a great team of people that have helped us, and you know, because you can't do it all, you have to have help, and so we've had great people that have helped us along the way for sure, that had a heart for what we were doing. They caught the vision and they helped out, and we are forever grateful for them.
My
So,
last shout out is God, because
Yeah.
I think all creativity comes from Him.
Yeah.
So everything that we've experienced and the people around us, the good that's in them that we've experienced, and hopefully the good we're giving back to others. I mean, that originates from Him. And shout out to you for letting me be your crazy partner.
Yeah. This is getting uncomfortable now. I've never had a shout out session like this. Almost like you need what is it? Moon honey.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, the forest is beautiful. You know, all of God's creation is beautiful, and to get to partner with Him and just build something where people, you know, you can read the notes. They just get up there, and there's just something special. They talk about how peaceful it is, how tranquil, how their families and their couples get to reconnect, and we read the guest book at the end of the year, and
That's cool.
it's just such a such a cool experience.
We
It
have this
really.
crazy little cardinal that hangs out at the tree houses and waits for the guests to come so that he can come visit them.
Yeah.
We call him Arnold.
Arnold.
Yeah.
So
The
stay there to
cardinal.
see Arnold.
Right?
That is.
He's our impromptu.
Shout out to Arnold.
Oh, shout out to Arnold. Yeah.
He follows the
Yeah.
guests
Come.
around.
Yeah. Come visit Arnold. You'll love
Yeah.
meeting Arnold.
He loves
Very-
people. Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it's great having you guys on.
Thank you so much for
We've
having
known
us,
each other
Andrew.
for a long time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And whenever we connected at the wine festival,
Yep.
and you guys had a booth there, or
Yep.
you were going through the booth, and I was,
We had a booth. Yeah.
yeah,
We did
thank-
both. Yeah.
yeah.
We had a booth and we went through the booths.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate you guys trusting me to develop a platform for your business, and hopefully it'll get even busier, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
It was an honor to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Andrew.
absolutely. All right, guys, we'll see you next time on the 903. Take care.